Deep beneath the limestone cliffs of southern France, a secret world lay undisturbed for 40 millennia, while civilizations rose and fell above. In the winter of 1994, 3 explorers squeezed through a narrow fissure to find a cathedral of stone frozen in the absolute darkness of time. As their flashlights pierced the oppressive gloom, they felt a strange vibration that seemed like a low, rhythmic whisper echoing from the depths. The air inside was heavy with the scent of ancient earth and the silence of a grave that had not been opened since the last great ice age. On the walls, hundreds of ochre handprints appeared like ghostly signatures reaching out from the distant Paleolithic past. These were not just marks, but a deliberate attempt to touch the spirit world through the very skin of the earth. As the team moved deeper, they discovered magnificent friezes of lions, rhinos, and mammoths that seemed to gallop across the uneven stone. The artists used the natural contours of the rock to give their subjects a startling three-dimensional sense of life and power. Recent acoustic studies suggest that the paintings were placed specifically in areas where the cave's echoes are most resonant. When a person hums or chants in these spots, the cave seems to respond with a voice of its own, amplifying the sound into a roar. The Whispering Cave served as a prehistoric theater where light, sound, and image combined to create a profound sensory experience. Archaeologists believe these spaces were used for shamanic rituals, where the barrier between the human and spirit realms was thin. To reach these sacred spots, the ancient people had to navigate kilometers of treacherous, pitch-black tunnels with only fat-burning lamps. The sheer difficulty of the journey suggests that these paintings were never meant for casual viewing or mere decoration. Among the most haunting images is the sorcerer, a figure with both human and animal traits that presided over the deepest chambers. Carbon dating has shocked the scientific community by revealing that some of these masterpieces are over 36,000 years old. This means that human creativity did not evolve slowly, but exploded in a brilliant flash of symbolic thought during the Ice Age. The animals depicted were often the apex predators of the time, creatures that inspired both terror and divine reverence. Woolly mammoths, with their massive tusks and shaggy coats, dominate the walls as the undisputed giants of the ancient world. The precision of the drawings shows that these primitive hunters possessed a scientific understanding of animal anatomy and behavior. In the deepest recess of the cave, a single child's footprint was found next to the track of a large wolf. This silent trail tells a story of a journey taken tens of thousands of years ago, perhaps a rite of passage for a young boy. The whispers of the cave are not just acoustic anomalies, but the lingering presence of a culture that valued story and song above all. Modern technology like LiDAR and 3D scanning is now allowing us to map every crack and pigment without ever touching the fragile stone. Protecting these sites is a race against time, as the simple act of breathing by visitors can cause mold to destroy the art. The original cave is now sealed behind massive steel doors, forever protected from the modern world that seeks to see it. Fortunately, a perfect replica has been built, allowing us to experience the majesty of the art while preserving the original. The mystery remains. Why did they choose the deepest, darkest places to express their most profound visions? Perhaps the darkness was a canvas that allowed them to see things that were invisible in the harsh light of day. Each animal painted was a spirit being, a bridge between the physical world and the eternal hunting grounds of the afterlife. The use of perspective and shading in these caves predates the Renaissance by nearly 35,000 years. Even the palette of colors, red from iron oxide, black from manganese, has remained vibrant despite the passage of eons. The cave system is a time capsule holding the remains of extinct cave bears that once slept where the artists painted. Imagine the courage required to step into these voids, armed only with a stick of fire and a mind full of myths. The whispers we hear today are the echoes of their songs, their prayers, and their desperate need to be remembered. Every line drawn was a prayer for a successful hunt, or a thank you to the spirits of the earth for providing life. The sheer scale of the paintings, some over 4 meters long, suggests a community effort involving many people and ladders. In the silence of the cave, one can almost hear the rhythmic striking of flint and the soft breathing of a focused painter. The art is a testament to the fact that we have always been a species of dreamers, looking for meaning in the dark. Our ancestors were not primitive in their intelligence. They were simply pioneers of the human soul in a wilder world. As we exit the cave and return to the sunlight of the 21st century, the experience leaves a permanent mark on our psyche. We realize that the digital screens we stare at today are just the modern versions of those flickering cave walls. The impulse to record our lives, to tell our stories, is a fire that has been burning for 40,000 years. The cave that whispered is a mirror, reflecting the eternal human desire to transcend our own mortality through art. When the wind blows through the narrow fissures, it carries the same notes that the first artists heard in their dreams. Scientists continue to decode the symbols, wondering if the dots and lines represent the first written language in history. Every discovery brings us closer to understanding the moments when the human spark first ignited in the darkness. The cave remains a holy site, a place where the modern world falls away and the ancient voices find their audience again. We are the descendants of those who braved the deep, and their legacy is written in the very pigment of our history. The whispers will never truly stop, as long as there is someone willing to listen to the stones and the stories they hold.